That's their choice, bro. It's not my choice.
Yeah, so the thing I was talking about earlier with Dave was we're sort of at the point where early on, the first time I had commentary, I mentioned that it was really about points and a little bit about anchors. The middle characters on everyone's team, the battery characters, have gotten a lot better. Everybody's Dooms mostly, and Michael's Dante. Everybody is like starting to be able to finish combos, put in some real work. So I would expect things to be a little bit more well-rounded this time than last time. Still point character heavy just because that's the nature of the game, but relative to last time, more focus on the middle characters than we've seen before.
For sure. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that each character on the teams have something new to offer than last week. In addition to that, we've seen a large upgrade in some players' movement, even over just 7 days. I think John falls into that category. His movement has been pretty ridiculous from what I've seen. In bursts, there are times where he'll mess up his movement and make mistakes, but his movement has very much expanded. Rick, I've seen a little bit of, and he's been talking to me about what he wants to do movement-wise, so the changes may be coming in. But the ideas are definitely in his head. So he's going to be evolving, and we'll see if he can demonstrate it here.
From what I understand,
prime opportunity.
Rick's been having a little bit of trouble getting coach time in, which time difference, whatever, it's a struggle. So he's been dealing with some of that stuff. But I know for a fact that Cuomo has been absolutely grinding his ass off.
He has.
Been
in fact,
honestly, they kind of all have. Like I haven't seen Rick on as much, but I know for a fact the other four are going nuts. So, okay, from the heavens.
Yeah, in game one, we got it going, got it popping. So what I've seen and what I think the strategy here is going to be is Rick is going to be utilizing Virgil's large sword normals to combat the jump angles of Hagar, as opposed to, say, dashing around and avoiding him entirely. He's going to challenge any time that Hagar wants to approach, and then utilize the other big normals when possible on the other characters. But so far, it hasn't looked to pay too many dividends.
Yeah, you mentioned movement earlier, and I was going to agree that everybody's movement has been improving. I wonder if this is nerves, because I know for a fact that Cuomo's movement is better than what we're seeing right here, but okay, these are some more complete combos than I think we've seen in the past. That's good.
Yeah. Solid
okay,
hit,
there we go.
Big damage out of it, too. I think, yeah, it could just be game one. He's warming up to it. Yeah. Also a possibility. First time on the server since at least today. So
yeah.
That's a clean kill here on Shuma. Has some health with Hagar to work with. Gets a big attack in there.
Right,
and that could be the problem over the course of this set with Rick's strategy. What a confirm off the beam.
Yeah, that was pretty sick, actually.
But just to finish the thought, that's a little thing that could be a problem with Rick's strategy here, is the fact that Cuomo's movement may be fast enough to just circumvent the normals entirely.
Yeah, we're seeing... I don't know how I feel about some of these interactions. I sort of... Having played Cuomo a bunch in the past week, I sort of expect a little bit more cleanliness from him. That works.
Yeah,
okay,
that's going to be enough damage to kill here. Kuma and X Factor can make this comeback. It has a lot of X Factor and a lot of damage, but no bar to really capitalize off any stray hits here.
Yeah,
he's going to have to get full clean combos.
But he's playing it safe, trying to stay slow. Wow, just gets the low.
It's a hit. Let's see what we get here.
Oh, he doesn't know you can launch off that, yeah. That should be a kill, yeah. Just goes for the easy stuff.
Easy stuff to clean it up, okay.
I'm hoping this is nerfed. I hope it cleans up a little bit, because I've seen all the work they're putting in, and I want them to be able to show it off a little bit more.
Yeah.
Nice, that was a good idea.
I agree. And like we said, that's probably going to be a strategy. Gets a little bit late on that option.
Yeah.
A little bit late responding there. Cuomo missing the optimal extension, but still sets up here in the corner.
Yeah, he knows the timings for the resets and stuff, and tries to go for that.
That's a good reaction and a big X Factor. I don't disagree at all if this kills. And it looks like he chooses just to go for the kill immediately. no matter what the bar. And now the X Factor doesn't seem like a big mistake, in my opinion.
Wow, and goes for the reset too.
A little bit greedy because he had the hit, but oh,
Yeah, he could. I think he could have gotten that. Just goes for the lariat instead. It's going to be too low or too high. I mean, yeah, he is just mashing on this lariat. I want to see Rick starting to punish some of these nervy lariats because that.
like that's 100% panic, and that looks like
Yep.
a clean punish. Is he going to exit? He
It
is,
doesn't
but
go
he's
for the
not
next
going to do. Yeah, another super there would have just straight up killed and would have given him the momentum. But with that, John takes game 2 again. So the momentums look like a lot of John's matches in the past, where he gets a kill early on a character, and kind of snowballs it down to the anchor, and then doesn't necessarily pounce to close it out.
Rick has been hard tagging. Rick has been they've been having a bunch of neutral interactions that haven't been leading to kills, and Rick hard tags into Shuma, and then his neutral with Shuma has looked a little bit suspect.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah, these raw
In
S's
addition
are
addition to the neutral itself, the general movement has been pretty stiff from Rick, and I know that it's kind of what the game plan was. That
another one of hard tags.
Yeah. Not necessarily the worst, though. It was a bad look
Yeah.
for Virgil, but this is going to hurt. And I've seen Cuomo get some kills recently from single touches.
Yeah, he's definitely been working on optimizing, and I think this will
Not quite enough, but it's
goes for the
damn
mix-up.
sure a good combo.
Now Virgil coming in, I kind of like that meaty lariat. I wanted him to at least go into dive there, but there we go. Good challenge. Rick has been. It looks like Rick, sort of the game plan that they talked about. Okay, happy birthday. At least can get some of Doom. Doesn't get the OTG. Maybe should be able to
finish
kill Hagar.
Hagar there either.
He's in the air.
Not enough to chip though.
No.
Gonna do it again.
Okay.
No
lariat.
reaction with the lariat though. Yeah.
And then
Tags
DHD
into
to
it.
get.
Yeah.
get
Even
Virgil out.
even though that's a bar spent,
That's
it's
fine,
a
yeah.
character in that's not dying.
If he had tried to just raw hard tag after the super, then Spencer would have been able to punish. So it was the right decision to spend the meter on that.
Oh, that might be. Oh, that's a great bionic arm to get out. Saves Doom's life.
Oh, mistimes the meaty. That doesn't no combo off that mid screen. Good timing on the assist call though with the jump, so he's not able to get a punish on the full screen sling in. Mistimes the or miss.
Oh, that's gonna smoke Virgil though, and that leaves Akuma with just a sliver.
Yeah, I wanted him to X factor on the incoming. I wonder if he tried to and got down medium instead.
It's certainly possible, but whatever it may be, that is a very, very clean 3-0 and a handshake for John. John looked pretty strong, had a couple of mishaps, but definitely looked strong. Combos were near completion or completed. Damage was high. Neutral was relatively safe from him.
Yeah,
And he was
saw,
establishing mix-ups on incoming. I
Like-
think
like
there's a
you
lot
mentioned-
of positives.
we saw a bit of the movement that you were talking about. It's less consistent than I've seen from him outside of these games, but at least we're starting to see the glimpses of it. The mix-ups like you're talking about, he was getting these safe mix-ups, able to confirm them when they hit. I think the big difference for me was that Rick went in with what looked like a pretty linear game plan of trying to raw S the jump pipe approaches, and he was either mistiming them. Sometimes it's an incredibly hard thing to time because the pipe actually goes about as far as stand S, so you really need to time it like perfectly if the jump pipes are coming in at the right time. So I do actually think that was a little bit of a risky game plan. It clearly didn't pay out here, but I think it's good that he at least had a game plan. He was trying something that was very clearly tailored to the matchup. Hopefully, I guess his plan can be a little bit more robust next time. But good stuff for both of them. Definitely improvement over what we've seen in the past.
For sure. There's one thing I'd like to mention about Rick's side here, too, is that there's just this discrepancy that's going to build. And we've talked about this off stream, but I'm going to bring it up because now we're on stream, so people will hear and people will be able to watch this. There's a damage discrepancy in winning neutral at levels of Marvel that are not tournament ready, so to speak. When you cannot kill a character in a single touch, all of a sudden neutral isn't quite as important. And those decisions that Rick was doing in order to stuff an approach and therefore win neutral don't mean much when he doesn't convert to a lot of damage. When
Yeah.
he's converting to just S into H and Helmbreaker or SH, SH,
Yeah.
like Cuomo can take 7 or 8 of those and be
Yeah. Exactly.
chilling.
Especially with a character like Hagar, who's built to last. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really good point. It's when you talk about sort of quality of combos versus or optimization of combos versus importance of neutral. It's sort of counterintuitive that the better your combos are, the more important your neutral becomes. But it's really true, and as a result, when your combos are less optimized, then the neutral actually becomes significantly less important than being able to eke out a little bit more out of your combos. Because if the difference between a slightly more optimized version of your combo that you might be able to do in a perfect setting versus the slightly less optimized version of the combo that you might be scrapping out in what actually happens, if the difference between those two is a fifth of your opponent's life versus a sixth of your opponent's life, then that's one entire full neutral interaction that you're losing just based on optimization. If the difference is a kill versus like a reset into a kill or whatever, those things are so close together that neutral is just you win it or you lose. But having the combos be like lack this degree of optimization puts a huge emphasis on what they can get. And so the sort of easy combos that you get out of Hagar, just doing simple loops, and the bits of optimization that we're seeing Cuomo get and improve from week to week are actually more significant increases in win percentage than they might seem, especially given that he's playing against a Virgil and an Akuma, a shell that doesn't deal an enormous amount of damage unless it's really well optimized.
Or if it's inside of X Factor, which is one of the cool benefits of Rick's team, is that pretty much all 3 of his characters are fantastic X Factor characters.
Yep.
So in any order that he plays the team, he has access to a good anchor. Having access to a good anchor allows him to maximize off of that X Factor ability and then really turn the tide as a comeback mechanic, or build up a shit ton of bar, because all these characters also build a decent amount of bar. Yeah. And then with assist extensions and other types of optimization, build a lot of bar. That's basically what's necessary to get that team working and flowing. And without that, he's forced to win neutral 7, 8, 9 times versus some of his opponents who will, if in the case of John, win neutral twice.
Yeah.
And kill 1 or 2 characters in some cases.